Hey guys, I'm going to be doing a comparison here really quickly. We've been using commercial Greenworks 25-inch mowers this year, and we also have a lot of older EGO mowers. This one in particular is about 5 years old. The model is the LM2000-S. So this is probably one of the original EGO mowers. And funny thing about this mower is I bought this on Craigslist used for $100 because it came with a charger and the 7.5 amp hour battery. And this was back right before EGO became popular and people knew how good they were. So you can still find deals like this on Craigslist or Facebook all the time. But this thing, you know, we've never done anything with it. I've never even really used it until this year, and we just use it when all of our other equipment's out and our other two crews are out and I have some extra yards to do. But this thing runs like a charm. It's never had any problems. I've ran it out in the pouring rain. All we do is sharpen the blades and, you know, it works great. So the Greenworks Commercial 25, we've been using it a lot too this year. We've got two of them. You know, one for each of our other crews. And I'll said in the other review video about this that we're putting out, you know, kind of what's going on with it. But the cut quality is pretty good until you get into some thick grass. And in the thick grass, I believe the EGO, even this older EGO, I've not used the double cut or, you know, the dual blades or anything like that. I believe the EGO tends to beat it. I do like the Greenworks. It's super quiet, even more quiet than the EGO. But okay, so, you know, pretty good cut quality. You know, this is really thick grass. It's really wet. Did pretty well. You do still see a lot of stragglers left over, especially the thick stuff. There's a lot still there. With the dual blades, it looks like it tends to leave a mohawk in the middle when the grass is really thick, where the two blades just don't seem to really cut that area where they overlap really well. Let's try the EGO. See how it does. So, you know, you really can't beat the performance of an EGO. You know, we've, as we said in other videos, we've tried to change platforms for our equipment for the last couple of years because of the battery reliability issues, which are a huge thing. They really are having a lot of issues with battery. But as far as the equipment itself, you can't beat the performance of EGO. That mower had no problem at all going through this. There are some areas that are a little bit, you know, that it might have missed a little bit. But it's a much cleaner cut than the Greenworks, and it seemed like it pushed through it a lot easier. Yeah, even in these thick areas, there's nothing, I don't really see anything missed. You might have a stray blade of grass here and there that kind of didn't get chewed up, but definitely looks like a much better cut quality in thick grass. Now, when the grass isn't growing really heavily, like, you know, in the spring and fall for us, or in the middle of the summer for guys that are in cool season grasses, you know, the Greenworks cuts great. It has a beautiful cut, and both of these do really well compared to a lot of other mowers. You know, this is still, you know, for what it is, these mowers are doing really well. But if I had to put them head to head, I'd say the EGO definitely wins on that. And this is an old, let me remember, this is probably an original EGO mowers. Got one that's a little bit newer, maybe a year. But we don't have any of the select cuts or anything newer than that, because up until, you know, this year, as you know, we weren't using push mowers to mow our lawns. We were using the Mean Green 48-inch stand-on mower. So, you know, I'm really impressed with EGO. I'm really impressed with the reliability of it. One thing I don't like about Greenworks, and this, I don't believe they're IPX like 4 or 5 certified, so they're not really waterproof. It's hard to wash them off. And this is what the guy at Greenworks told me. They may, and he wasn't quite sure, but he didn't think that they were rated to be washed off and hosed off and stuff like that when you're ready to wash them. I know the EGO is, and like I said, I've had this EGO equipment, all of our handheld EGO equipment, out in the pouring rain just to see if I could kill it, and it had no issues whatsoever. Still works fine. But that is kind of frustrating about the Greenworks is, you know, you need to be able to clean your equipment off, and you need an easy way to do it. But, you know, from what I understand, those aren't rated to be able to, you know, you have to hand wash them. Other things, you know, the EGO seems to be more reliable. As I said in our review video on the Greenworks 25, this is about the 3rd one we've gone through in a year because of issues, you know, the self-propel going out, or issues with the motor, stuff like that. The EGOs, you know, I've had very few pieces of EGO equipment fail on me. The actual equipment, now batteries is another story, and we've had plenty of problems with batteries, but the equipment itself seems the only issues I've ever had are ones that were dead on arrival in the first place. Maybe there was something from the factory that wasn't right, but that's only been a couple pieces, and we've had dozens of pieces of EGO equipment, and we've still got ones that have hundreds, maybe even well over 1,000 hours on it that we've used, and they work just like they did the first day. But you know, if I had to compare these two, and you were going to be mowing thick grass, I would definitely say the EGO is going to edge out the Greenworks as far as cut quality and dependability. Now, obviously, speed of cut, 25-inch mower actually makes a very big difference. You know, you're probably going to get the lawn cut 25–30% faster, but you do have some of those issues that we talked about. Hey guys, one other thing I forgot to mention in the comparison is the runtime. One thing that Greenworks definitely edges out EGO with is the runtime. We've been very impressed with the runtime on these 25-inch mowers when the grass isn't super thick. Now, when it's thick like it has been, it pretty much, you know, eats through batteries just like anything else. But it wasn't unusual for us to get an hour, hour and a half per battery, per 5-amp hour battery. You know, through most of the season until everything got really thick. The Greenworks will hold 2 batteries, so you can a lot of times get 2.5 hours or so of runtime. So that is one thing that's very impressive. EGO, obviously, you know, for both of them depends on the battery size, but as far as runtime, I think the Greenworks definitely, you know, edges out the EGO in that category. Thanks for watching. I'd love to hear some of you guys' feedback. I know a lot of you guys have used some of the older EGO mowers, and you have some of the new ones. I'd be curious to hear if they've improved or how the new mowers stack up to their old ones. But thanks for watching. Hope you're all doing well.